Hey beauties, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. How y'all doing today? Because I'm doing fine. Now, I know you read the title and you're like, girl, what's the tea? So we're about to get into it today, but I also wanted to make this a story time / mukbang video, mukbang, whatever you want to call it. So we got some juice to get into, we got some food to eat. So I need you, before you do anything else, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. If you like these type of videos, if you want to see me do more story times, or just like, comment, and subscribe just because you love seeing me just talk, or just seeing me on your YouTube page, that's a good reason to like, comment, and subscribe. So I think you should do that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and step into this video because I know that's what y'all trying to see. Okay, so today I have a little special treat. I have some Moe's Southwestern Grill, and I got some nachos here filled with a lot of crap, okay? I'm actually supposed to be on a diet, preparing myself for a procedure that I'm having in a few days or so, which I have video out about that as well, so y'all know what that is. But I have my nachos here with beef, queso, pico, jalapenos, black beans, rice, the whole 9 yards. And I also have a high-C strawberry punch. It's not fruit punch, whatever. It's a high-C strawberry drink. So enough of all that jibber jabber. We're about to get into it. And matter of fact, before we even do that, girl, go get you a snack. Go hook yourself up, get you some food, get you a snack, get you some cookies, some chips, whatever you want to snack on. And, you know, eat with me while we talk about this together because we got a lot to get into. So let me go ahead and get myself set up here. And we finna dive in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, like you saw, this video, I'm not going to get too much in detail about like the entire situation that like surrounding, because it's so much to the story that y'all just don't even know. That, girl, this video would be like 2 hours if we were to like sit here and actually discuss everything. But we're gonna take this first bite though. Good as always. But so we're gonna start with, so I had a boyfriend back in 2019, and this guy I've known for like years. Like, we were best friends in high school. We shared everything, we talked about everything together. We were really good friends, like really close friends. And I was never that like girl best friend that used to try to be like, I guess overstepping my place as a friend. Any of his girlfriends that they think, okay, I gotta watch Erica, no, I would go ahead and shut that down real quick. So basically, me and him were friends in high school. And back in 2018, December 2018, he asked me, you know, do you want to make this more than just a friend thing? And I was just like, okay, I mean, you know, and I was just like, I don't really know. And he said, well, you know, you can't tell me you've never thought about it. You can't tell me it's never crossed your mind. I was like, maybe like once or twice, but I don't know. And I said, well, you know, it's come across you. And he was just like, yeah. So we decided to try it out. So let's fast forward to March of 2019. He had some family issues going on, and he was about to be out of the house, so he didn't really have any place to live. And the suggestion that he brought up, I thought was crazy. And I was just like, nah, no dude of mine that's my dude is gonna be living in that type of circumstance. So I was like, nah, you just gonna like move in with me, right? So keep in mind, this is my last year of college. I'm graduating May 2019, and I am still living at school. So he moved from my hometown to where I went to school. And, you know, we talked about it, and we already knew what was going to come with living together, a new couple living together. You know, it's going to be a lot of stuff to go on, and we got to be prepared for that. So basically, me and him discussed it, and we were like, okay, well, we're ready for the ride, we're ready for the journey, whatever. When we all knew he wasn't ready. I knew he wasn't ready. I should have said that as soon as, we brought the idea up. But at the time, I was thinking, this is my dude, and this is my, best friend. So I'm going to do what I have to do as his friend to make sure he's straight. So that's basically what I did. We packed up his stuff, and we moved him down to my, to where I was going to school at, living in my apartment that I lived with I lived there with 3 other girls. So it was 4 of us total in the apartment. And the apartment was set up almost like a tri-level type of condo in a sense. It really wasn't even an apartment. It was a townhouse. And we had, on the first floor is living room, kitchen, open floor plan. The second floor had 2 bedrooms, and third floor had 2 bedrooms. So I lived on the 3rd floor. So like I was saying, I lived on the 3rd floor. And basically, me and him, we stayed there. Mind you, since he was living down there, he didn't have a car or anything. The car he was using was my car. And at the time, I didn't make too much of a fuss about it because I was in school. And I didn't need the car in the first place because I was in class half the time. And I was like, you can use the car while I'm in class, especially once he got a job, he was gonna need it. So basically, he was using my car while he was staying in my house. And he was staying there rent-free because at school I used to get a refund check, and I would use that to pay my rent. And usually once I got my refund check at the beginning of the year, I would go ahead and pay my rent fully all the way out. So he never had to worry about paying me rent or anything. Girl, if he was paying me now, he wasn't staying there and he wasn't paying me rent. That was the only reason why he wasn't paying rent. So basically, we lived together in March, and we lived together till I moved out in July. And the first month of us staying there, everything was good. Everything was good, y'all. We, I guess we were so in bliss that we were living together that we was just like, oh, we living together, we on some real couple stuff. But as time went on, stuff started getting real, and I was like, I started peeping little stuff, and it was so many things that were happening, y'all. So many things that were happening that I should have been left. I talked to my friends about it all the time, and we were just like, girl, you should have been gone. I was like, girl, I don't even know what it was. I can't even just say that it was only love that was keeping me there. I feel like it was love for him and then love for our friendship as well, because at the end of the day, he was my friend, and I didn't want to see my friend struggling. Take the boyfriend side of it out. I really didn't want to see him struggling as a friend. And it was just crazy. I just dealt with so much. And it's like, girl, if this was anybody else, that would have been a wrap ASAP. So, pretty much, like I mentioned, I had 3 other girls I was living with. There was, of course, I'm not dropping any names. So there was girl A, B, and C. Girl C, we're not even going to add her into this story because she wasn't even really, we didn't even really know her. We knew her just from her coming in. She was just assigned to that same, townhouse that we were living in. So we didn't know her previously. But girl A and girl B, I knew them previously. So girl A and girl B, we knew each other from the dorm we stayed in before. We were living in a dorm, and we ended up getting an apartment together, and then we moved to that townhouse. So at this point, I've known them for a couple of years. Not long enough, but I've known them for a couple of years. So we all became really, really close. These girls are my closest friends. I know we're going to have a friendship outside of college. Once we graduate, we're going to still keep in touch. Love them to death, da-da-da-da-da. And I just knew, these my girls. So obviously when I started having issues in my relationship with the dude, that was living with me, you know, of course I talked to my friends about it. I was just like, y'all, we got issues, this. And it's like, I don't know if I should just like fight through it, because obviously you're gonna have issues in a relationship. And at this time, I have not had a boyfriend pretty much all throughout college. I just was not for that, because I'm in school, you know, I'm trying to find myself and just like explore, I'm not trying to be tied down. So I really never wanted to have a boyfriend. So basically I had decided, let me talk to my friends, get their input on it, and let me see like what they think I should do. So girl A and girl B, I talked to them. We all talked about it, right? And this is when stuff starts getting real funny, because me and my dude actually broke up while I was in school. And girl A, she is the person that actually slept with him and did all the little whatever. Girl B, she was actually engaged and pregnant. So yeah, you know, she was doing her own thing. But girl A took upon herself, mind you, this is my friend. Let's keep this all in mind. This was my friend. Girl A took upon herself to go to her boyfriend. Let me say that again. Her boyfriend. Because her boyfriend and my boyfriend just went through this, like, I don't know, I guess they didn't saw the light together, and they just decided they were going to be best friends moving forward. And they've known each other for like 2 months. So they pretty much did everything together. So one day she took it upon herself, her and her boyfriend, to confront my dude about what I talked to my friends about. And next thing you know, he comes in my house, busting in my house, grabbing his shit, like not saying anything, but he like grabbing his shit, grabbing his clothes, grabbing everything. And I'm like, yo, what did happen? Like, what? So I'm looking mad confused, and I'm like, what is going on? And he like, so you want to sit up and talk to blah, blah, blah about da, 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 but you don't want to talk to me about it? So I know I was hot, right? Because who else would go and tell him some stuff and flip it in the way that they did? Her ass, right? So it pissed me off so bad that once he stormed out, mind y'all, he didn't have a car. He barely had a job because the job was seasonal. But he didn't have a car, so he grabbed all his stuff and walked to girl A's boyfriend's house. He couldn't even storm out like a thug. He ain't got no car. Like, who does that? Moving on. I hit her up and him, and I'm like, y'all ruined my relationship. Y'all done made this da-da-da. We done broke up because of y'all. And they like, whoa, hold on. They ain't got nothing to do with us. How it don't? When you the one that went back and talked. Why you talking? Why? So there was already some shady stuff going on before like the stuff even happened. It was already some shady stuff. So let's fast forward. We get back together, and things didn't get better. They actually got worse between us. We got even more distant, and things were just not good. I was so miserable and so depressed during that time that I couldn't even fathom what was going on. Also, I had just found out as well that my grandfather was sick with cancer. So I had a lot of sadness from that. My relationship wasn't going out right. And I was over school, ready to graduate. It was just a lot going on. So I would, of course, half the time, like I mentioned, girl B is the one who was pregnant and engaged at the time. So a lot of times she wasn't even there at the house. Even, especially after when we graduated, she definitely wasn't there for like the summer months. She pretty much moved out. So she basically wasn't even around. So half the time, anytime I had issues in my relationship, I had anything I wanted to say about X, Y, and Z, I was talking to girl A about it because she was the one there. even after the shade she had did with telling him like the stuff I talked to her about, I still was going to her and talking to her, because at the time I didn't have anybody else to talk to, because especially after we graduated, everybody like graduated and left. But I was staying in my apartment, and I refused to like pay rent at an apartment that I was not staying at. So I was like, no, I'm gonna stay until my lease is up. So me and her used to talk a lot about my relationship, a lot about what we were going through. Just talked a lot, which he know of advice here. No matter if it's your friends, your close friends, your best friend, even your family, everyone does not need to know everything in your relationship. Every little problem, every little trial, tribulation y'all go through, that's not for everyone to know. You need to keep some of that stuff under wraps. Keep it to yourself, because it's just not everyone's business all the time. And then that's how stuff gets sticky and stuff gets started, and it's just don't do it, okay? So moving on, basically, I used to talk to her a lot about my situation, all the rest of this. So we pretty much, like I said, we're so distant. We weren't even texting like we used to, we weren't calling like we used to. And it just really put a strain on our relationship. We had a lot of issues, a lot. And it just got to the point to where I was literally just being with him because I was scared of what would happen to him if he moved back to my hometown. I was like, what would happen? Because he's struggling so bad. What would happen? Because that's that friend of me coming in. Yeah. That little you got a friend in me Toy Story edition. That's where that was coming from. So I literally was sacrificing my own happiness to make sure he was good. Never, ever do that. So basically, like I said, my granddaddy is sick. I'm pretty much depressed. My relationship is terrible. Granddaddy's sick. I'm ready to graduate, all this. Still having problems. I end up graduating, and what was supposed to be the best day of my life ended up being terrible. Maybe I'll do another story time video about that. But it was terrible at the end when I made it back home to him. That's when it was terrible. But before graduation, during graduation, it's great. So pretty much after I graduated, those summer months, oh my gosh, y'all, it was so bad. I was always in the house, miserable. Oh, and by the way, I was working a job, but I quit my job to focus on graduating. So I was not working a job. So I was just sitting at the house miserable without a car, because he got a job at this point and he needed my car. I know, dumb, right? Anyway. So basically, we were sitting, I think I was in the kitchen. And girl A came up to me and was like, girl, so you never believe what dude said to me. When I say dude, I'm talking about her boyfriend. I was like, what? She was like, he gonna say he thinks me and your dude had did something. And I'm like, what? I was like, what in the world? That's crazy. Why would he think that? Naive AF. But I was like, why would he think that? What in the world? And she was like, I know, right? That's crazy. Girl, she did a good job. Somebody give her an Oscar. But she was like, I don't know. I don't know. So I was just like, wow, okay. So we sat there and we talked about it for a minute. And she was telling me how she thinks that her dude was cheating, all this other stuff, because ever since he got introduced to my dude, he started doing all types of stuff that he didn't do. He was going out, drinking, doing all stuff. I remember one time we were in the house. They just came back from the pool. And I think they grilled or something over there. And he was like, who trying to take some shots? Y'all trying to take some shots? Da da da. I said, when did you start drinking and start taking shots? Yeah. Give him an Oscar too, because he did a good job at playing a role. Anyway, basically, that stuff came up, and we're gonna fast forward to, it was one day I did something special for my dude, which, looking back, he didn't even appreciate it like somebody that actually cared about me would. But he brought up the same thing. He said, yeah, can you believe that he would say that about me? That he would think that I would do that? And at this point, first off, it's a couple things about the situation. First thing is, I remember when we first moved there and I saw how, well, he moved there, I saw how close they were getting. I kept, and they were like batting for each other, like going to war for each other. And I said, okay, you're starting to put him over me. And he kept saying, what are you talking about? No, I'm not, da da da. And I'm like, listen, you know me, but you do not know him. Y'all known each other for 2 months, a month and a half, really. And y'all going to war like this for each other? Okay. You don't know him, and he don't know you. And that's T. Sorry, but that's real. So, let's go back to the moment. And I was thinking, well, you know, I told you. How would he say this about me? You don't know him, like I told you. So, you may have thought you knew him, but you don't. So, basically, we talking, woo woo woo, and he was just like, yeah, it's been so many times that old friends of mine have thought I've done stuff like that, and it just don't make sense. Why would they ever, like, it just, that hurts, man. That hurts, because that just shows that they don't trust it, and I'm like, so I started making faces, and he was like, why you looking like that? I said, well, true enough, once I thought about it, this is the second time I heard this. I was like, well, true enough, you, him, and her, y'all are always around each other. Because like I told y'all, my dude and girl dude was like this. So they were always together, and of course, that's her dude, so she was always with her dude. So it was always those three together while I was like with my friends or in class or at work or doing stuff for the organization I was in. They were always like together. So I just clearly said, well, maybe it has been some stuff that he's seen that y'all do that I haven't seen. So, I mean, because this didn't just come out the air. Y'all did something to make him think that. And he got so pissed at me for saying that, like, what? So you don't believe me? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, thinking in my head, like, I really don't. But, I mean, I'm just saying, that's not coming out the blue. Y'all done did something, you know what I'm saying? So, I was like, we'll see. We should definitely see. So, let's go. Fast forward to moving out day. So we moving out. I'm moving all of my stuff out of the house. Girl C, I think she was moving out too. Girl B, remember that's the one that was engaged and pregnant. She already moved out prior. She been gone. And girl A was moving out same time as me too. And I kept noticing, I'm moving out, picking up my stuff, putting in the car, doing all this other stuff. He upstairs talking to her. He worried about her. He doing all this other stuff. And I'm like, why is you concerned with this and your girlfriend is over here moving out? That blew me. And I'm like, didn't get it. Once again, me not thinking, still not even like, okay, they did something. I still wasn't even thinking it. So I'm like, okay, cool. We end up moving out. I get back home, and my grandfather actually passes away the weekend that I come back home. I came back home on a Wednesday. I think my grandfather passed away either on I think it was a Friday or a Saturday. It was just like a couple days. I was only around him a few days right before he passed away, which broke my heart. I was absolutely hurt. I was so sad. I was so empty because I've never had a family member that close to me pass away. So I was distraught. I was out of it. And I didn't even really know what to say. So at this point, I'm hurt. I'm sad. Me and dude end up breaking up off of some other stuff that we're not even gonna get to. We break up, and girl A hits me up and was like, hey, I just moved to a new apartment here at the city that I went to school at, me and old dude, and I want you to come down and see it. I was like, oh, period. Yes, I would definitely come and see it. So I went and I stayed at her new house, checked it out, whoop de whoop de whoop. It was cute or whatever. And I'm like, this is nice. I'm proud of y'all. This is real cool. So I go and see our house and I'm like, this is cute, whatever. I like it, blah, blah, blah. And I end up coming back home. Next thing you know, this is like the next month. I'm at home. I'm sleeping. I don't even think I was asleep. But I get a FaceTime call from girl A's boyfriend. And I'm like, what is this about? I answer and he like, Erica, like, what's going on? You know, like, what you doing? What you got? And I'm like, why are you calling me? Why are you FaceTiming me at this time? Like, what is wrong with you? Then he got to what he really was calling about, which was, yeah, so have you ever thought about us, you know, hooking up? Have you ever thought about us doing that? Because I've thought about it. You really fine, this, that. I was like, time out. What are you talking about? I was like, oh no, I'm gonna call her right now and tell her that you doing da-da-da-da, you stepping out, you doing this, you doing this. And I hang up. I was like, you drunk, you need to go to sleep because what's wrong with you? I hang up. And I end up calling a friend in the meantime. I was like, can you believe the dude just like said that to me? So he calls me back on FaceTime and was like, I'm so sorry that I said that, but I had good reason. And I was like, okay, what? And he was like, I gotta tell you because I just found out something. I'm like, okay, what is it? Like, spit it out. And he was like, Erica, so-and-so and so-and-so, they And I was like, what do you mean they Like, what does that even mean? Like, what is that? What context? Like, who are you talking about? Like, he said the names, but the names still didn't even register. I was like, who are you talking about? Who is this? Why are you telling me that? I'm distraught. I'm like, what are you saying? And he repeats it. And I'm like, I just froze, y'all. I didn't have anything to say. I just froze up. And yeah, I literally just couldn't even believe who he said, what he said they did. And I just couldn't even believe it. So I literally got off the phone and I started blowing her up. Like, sis, what? I'm blowing her up. Like, what is this? Get to explaining what is this? I'm blowing her up. Text, phone calls, nothing. So she pretty much answered. She answered the question just then by not answering the phone. So at that point, I knew what the answer was. And I was so out of it because, like I said, month prior, I just lost my grandfather. And then I find this out. Then everything that I had in my head that I felt like was fishy, that all started making sense. It all started making sense. I was like, you little, like, I was out of it, y'all. I was out of it. And it really just became a whole thing. I end up finally talking to her the next day, the next morning, and she was like, basically like, Erica, everything he said was true. I'm so sorry. She was crying, and I'm just like, yo. I couldn't even fathom what happened. I couldn't even. So I end up hanging the phone up because I was crying because anger didn't even come across me just yet because I was so sad. I'm still sad from losing my grandfather, and y'all blow this on me. Yo. So I end up talking to him as well and asked him. And at first he lied about it. I'm like, what is the point of lying at this point? Just say it. What is the point of lying? So he finally says it and was like, I didn't want to say it because I knew it would hurt you. Yo. No words. But, yes. The story goes so much more deeper than that. I'm gonna have to break this video up into part 1 and part 2. If y'all want to see part 2 about me confronting her, about exactly how it happened, all the whoop-de-whoop behind it and all the aftermath of it, you gotta come back to my channel once again and tune in so you can hear the rest of the tea, because the tea is piping hot. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to this video and let me know part 2. We want to see part 2. I'm gonna stop it there. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Thank you all coming to my YouTube channel, showing me love and liking my videos, commenting on my videos. Thank you all so much. But it's been a blast, and I will see y'all on the next video.